Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back here with Kristen Wray, and we're talking how she can help you with her virtual services and in-person services. She's a Reiki master based out of Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to the show today.
Hi, it's really great to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. So it's Reiki by Kristen Wray. How do people get in touch with you?
So right now, I'm pretty basic. You can call me on my email or email me on my email.
Got it. I got it.
kaw.reiki@yahoo.com. And I do have a phone number, and one of these days I will.
And look, I love the cat's back, right?
Right.
Sensing mom, yeah, ready to tap in and tune in to her talent, and
It's
she's here
so
to.
So here to help. And you can text me or leave me a message at 872-221-0576.
Fantastic. So please introduce yourself to some new listeners that may not know, and of course, you're a fantastic cat.
Yeah. So this is Delia, and she likes to assist me in my sessions and shows up out of nowhere. Magic.
Yep.
I'm Kristen Wray. I've been doing Reiki for myself since 2014. I became a master in 2018. And for me, it's kind of part of my life. This is what I do for myself. I do self sessions, and I have a strong meditation practice so that I can stay centered and be in a good place to help other people.
Great.
Yeah. I don't have this huge beginning story. I just felt like it came to a point in my life where I needed an outlet for certain energies in my body. I just felt really uncomfortable, and I tried other things, but this seems to work best for me.
And how has your week been? Do you have any stories to share with us? Have you worked with anyone in particular?
Yeah, it's been a pretty quiet week for the Reiki this year. I've been doing these shares where I meet with other Reiki practitioners and we practice. That's always good because everybody brings their own gifts and we all teach each other. And I really enjoy doing group sessions with people. And so, yeah, it's, and then we've been doing more, it's hard with distance. And yet it works really well. So there's this sort of mindset that we have. We say, oh, so how can it possibly work that I could be sitting here in Chicago and you're in New York, and I can send you this energy and you receive it. And it's because we're all connected. We all have this energetic connection. And it's stronger with some people than others, because when there are people that we love who are not doing well, somehow we sense that automatically and call them on the phone and say, so how are you doing? And they go, well, I was just thinking about you, And then, and the other thing is that, some of the other Reiki people have been really into Einstein lately and, saying everything's energy. All things are energy. And also about how maybe our perception of how energy and time work isn't quite, it can be a little bit different from our perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So giving that, being open to that, whatever it might be. when we do a Reiki session, especially a distance one, it's, I don't actually have to know what's going on with somebody in order to help them.
You can sense it, feel it,
I don't
figure it
even have,
out.
I can do that, but I don't even have to do that. The energy knows what people need. So it's not intrusive. It doesn't have to be intrusive. If somebody has a problem that they're not comfortable sharing with me about, that's fine. We do the Reiki. It, you know, if it's an emotional situation, then it can relax and it can be less important, and they can go on with their regular life a little bit more effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, people that are, you know, maybe tuning in for the first time today, not understanding how this all works and the energy healing and Reiki, I know because I've talked to you quite a few times. And if someone new out there is interested in this type of energy modality, could you just discuss some of the benefits of it and how it can really help move and change things in your body and shift your mindset? Could you explain it?
Yeah. Well, for one thing, we're not, our body and our mind are not completely separate things. And so when we have things that are going not optimally in our body, then it can affect our moods and where we are, how we function in our life. And it works the opposite when we have situations that are difficult emotionally or intellectually. It affects our body too. So, you know, we're this big system. So uh, I share Reiki with people. It's not something I do to somebody. It's something we do together. And it helps relax people. It helps move the energy and be more centered and grounded. We live in our heads a lot. We think a lot, and maybe it's a way of avoiding feelings or feeling our body too. And so the Reiki helps center and ground us in our body. That's a big, and it's always been a big thing with the Reiki practice. Some of the first exercises we do are grounding us into what people call the sacral or the root chakra in the Indian chakra system, or we call it the hara in the Japanese system, and just sort of grounding and relaxing and letting go. And some of the things that it helps with are, well, people find relief with headaches and anxiety, and it can help with, you know, we talked about cancer a little bit the first time. You know, it doesn't cure cancer. People will say that it doesn't do that. But what it does is it helps with the side effects some. As much as you're open to it working, it'll help you with that. I've got some friends who say, well, I came to Reiki because I saw a friend who had a serious illness, and, you know, they went through the medication, you know, and the medicine with the doctors, but they also included Reiki with it. And they seemed to do better than people who didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, yeah, no, it's important that it's with, you know, in addition to other things in your life. What else? Yeah, it helps a lot with anxiety. It helps with trauma.
And this year of all years, the amount of
Yeah,
anxiety and stress how you're seeing in
yeah,
people, I mean, it's pretty
yeah,
great, right?
yeah. Just to sit, I think that even, I think that it really does help move the energies in the body, and there is this connection. And if you're sitting there going, well, I don't know if it's really going to work, it would be good to give it a try, because you at least have that connection with somebody and you're talking to them, and at the very least that helps. but the Reiki is really useful. Um, it's yeah, and then well, I have a lot of meditation, and in my practices, but they're Reiki meditations, so they're focused on moving energy and centering.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, in particular, I don't know if you have an area of focus for their show today. We've had some great conversations about what you do, how you can help. Also, you
Mhm.
work with animals, right? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you explain. I don't want to, what did you want to talk about and discuss?
Um, yeah, especially right now, with the 4th of July coming up. I don't know how it is over there in New York, in Chicago. There are a lot of fireworks being shot off
Oh,
and
well,
things.
absolutely.
And it causes a lot of anxiety in our animals. And
And my niece, who's 11, she cannot go outside. She cannot stand the sound of it. They were going off the other night, and she can't handle it. She's got something where she's got to run inside, and she's 11 now, but it's
uh
brings her great anxiety and stress. So I know
yeah,
some
it
people
really
do, not just the
does. And
animals.
people too.
Yeah.
That's the thing where it's all this ecosystem where we're all affected by the same sorts of things. Um, yeah, and so it's relaxing for them. I mean, it helps with like if you have reactive dogs, they react. It'll help calm them down.
Hmm.
That and it's I don't know. They also our animals also um, share our energies. Like mine shows up when I'm a little bit anxious or not just for herself, but she comes to comfort me, and they absorb that energy. So it's good for them to release it too, so that they can be calm with us.
Got it. Absolutely. And when
Yeah.
you work with the animals, does that have to be in person, or could you do Reiki this way through Zoom on, say, if I had my cat with me?
Yeah, no, I could do it through Zoom. It's it's more fun to be able to touch them,
Of
but
course.
yeah, 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 it's the same process.
And is there a certain style of Reiki that you use compared to others? I know there's quite a few different forms from what I hear. I know it developed somewhere from a Japanese man, but there's what type of Reiki in particular do you practice? Could you explain the
Yeah.
different modalities or?
Yeah, so Miko Sui was an esoteric Buddhist monk. He did these practices where he would go onto Mount Karama and meditate and fast for periods of time. And this is the sort of thing that builds up. You start with a 1 day fast and a 3 day fast, and you work up to a 21-day fast. Well, after he did the 21-day fast, he had this enlightenment moment where um, about how to use this Reiki or use the life force energy to heal with on a hands-on modality. Um, and there are a lot of stories about what he was doing and what his motivations were, and we really don't know what those things are.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at what practices in Japan are now and sort of extrapolate some things. Um, yeah, and then he had some students, a Dr. Hayachi who uh, opened a clinic and was teaching people, and then a Madame Takata. Well, she was younger at that time. She came and learned from him, and then she went. She was from Hawaii, and so she went back to Hawaii and started her own school. So most of the lineages are through her, um, but all along they were quietly doing Reiki, and there are different schools, but the Usui's school is the one that we practiced from. Um, they were doing it all along in Japan too, so you've got it sort of split off at that point. So a lot of the lineages are through Madame Takata in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
My teacher went back to Japan and studied with some Japanese in the Japanese school. So he focuses more that from that point of view. It's very simple. It's the International House of Reiki. My teacher is Frans Stina, and he's in Holland. And I've been really lucky that I've been able to work with him. He's been doing these 21-day sessions. I've been really lucky to work with him all through the pandemic, since we can't really see each other. So that's lots of fun. So it includes hands-on healing. There's symbols and mantras. There's the precepts. The precepts are the thing that we know most about the practice of Reiki. It's just for today. Do not worry. Don't be angry, and be kind to each other. Be honest in your work, but also it can be translated as be true to yourself and who you are, and being grateful. Yeah. So, those are really great things to work on. When I started, it was, I don't know if I can't be angry. I'm not sure I can commit to that. It was like, just for today, don't be angry, just for right now. And I'm like, well, okay, I can do that. And as I study more, those precepts mean different things to me. And then they have to do with how a meditation practice works. Because if you're angry, then you're putting your energy in the past. You're remembering harm somebody did to you or a bad situation. So you can pull, those things happen all the time. Those things happen, and it's important to recognize, but you don't have, is it really worthy of all the energy that you're giving it? Isn't it better to have your energy in today when you're doing something, and then worries about the future? And all this is a process, because, in my human body, I'm going to worry and I'm going to be angry. But trying to be centered in my life helps me live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say that, Reiki clearly has helped you in many ways, a lot of your friends, your clients, and how often do you need to do Reiki? Do you do Reiki every day? How does it work? Because if you're in the business of it, is everything around you, you're always thinking and trying to morph the energy in your food and water. How does that affect you as, a Reiki master?
Well, I don't think about it as morphing or changing. I think about it as enhancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm intentionally do meditations. I intentionally do hands-on healing on myself every day. And then some of it is just that when I make my food, I make it for my highest good. So that's Reiki, with the intention of being the most nutritional for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's not, it becomes so ingrained that I don't really think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
But the basic grounding and centering I need to do. And if I work on a lot of clients, I sort of get kind of hyper.
Yeah. Are you like taking that energy? How does that work?
Yeah, because it's a lot of meditation and breathing and being with somebody and just concentration on that person. And then I finish and I'm going, oh, I need to ground. I need to get back in my body. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, and if someone wants to work with you, how often do they have to work with you in a sense? Normally Reiki works for how long, and how does that whole process work?
Yeah, the problematic answer to that is it depends.
Okay.
It depends on the person. It depends on what they're looking for. I've, you know, I always have, people always feel something with me, and I can give them good feedback about, what I think is going on, or what I feel anyway. I don't interpret, I just say, well, I'm feeling there's something going on in your left foot, and, you might want to, sometimes it's like you might want to see a doctor about that, or, but I don't diagnose anything. Or I see, what's going on. I feel something in your shoulder, what's going on with that. And it could be emotional,
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot in throat is um, a lot of emotional energy. And yeah, so how often? I think I've heard things like go 4 times to really see if it's working for you. It can be, to start out with, it could be once a week or every 2 weeks. I like to go to my shares and get treatment like once every 2 weeks for myself. Yeah, it's a sort of an ongoing thing. The idea that I'm a Reiki master and I'm not taking care of myself only, and not having contact with other people is sort of, it's not. I mean, I could do that, but it's not the most optimal thing. I need the interaction with other people, and and just the community is important.
Yeah. And do you have any group sessions coming up that people can get involved in, or are those strictly your group sessions that you were talking about before with your friends and other Reiki masters?
Yeah, we do the Midwest Reiki community that I'm involved with in Chicago area. We're doing virtual Reiki shares these days. And now we're sort of moving into hybrids where we'll have a camera and Zoom set up, and so people can attend on Zoom. Um, the share that I'm hosting these days is on the second Tuesday um, on of the month at 7 p.m. Central Time. And it can be found on, we've got a space on Facebook, a Facebook group called Midwest Reiki Community that people can join. Just we allow people to come once or twice before they're attuned, and then after that, we expect them to, take the leap and take a class or become attuned. I work less formally. I don't do big classes, but I do teach, and I do attunements, so I can help with that.
What is that? What is that attunement you mentioned?
An attunement is where it's, or an initiation. It's where it sort of opens up the channels a little bit more, and makes it so we can practice more easily and handle more energy. And it's a short ceremony that we do. Um,
And if someone wants to get involved with that, how can we reach out to you?
so you can email me at kaw.reiki@yahoo.com, or you can call me. It's 872-221-0576. And if you want to get involved with the Midwest Reiki community, you can find us on Facebook. We're a Facebook group.
Great. And what is the Facebook group called?
Midwest Reiki Community.
Midwest Reiki Community. I'm writing that down. Awesome. And we still have just 2 minutes left here on the show. What else did you want to share with our listeners before we go?
Just be kind to yourself, especially these days, and give, don't judge ourselves so roughly. Just bring a lot of self-love.
And what about this year in particular? After last year, are things looking up for everyone? Do you think after this pandemic, do you feel anything? We're going to have another pandemic this year? What's happening this year? Is it going to be a better year for most people in 21, or we still have a long ways to go? What are you feeling?
I think here in the US, we're doing all right. That we're moving forward and opening. I think that the rest of the world is it's going to be a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm optimistic. I think that you know it's a reset. This year of not doing anything is a reset, and then we're going forward. And a lot of people are considering new paths in their lives, and I really support them following their heart.
Oh, wonderful. Kristen Wray, we want to point out again, Midwest, what is it? Midwest
Reiki
Got it.
community.
Community. And how else can we get in touch with you?
My phone number is 872-221-0576. And my email is kaw.reiki@yahoo.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure having you here. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you again. I hope our listeners do reach out. Thank you so much. Everyone else the same. Stay tuned. More of the show is on the way. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.